Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. Um, so, all right. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the last 24 hours. Um, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that people are so sad. Let's just put it that way. Sad or sad. Sad, petty, ridiculous, whatever way you want to put it at this point, right? So here's the thing. This shit that the sewer turtle did, this throwing low blows at JFK for no reason, and really James Jackson, simply because he's mad that they know things that could damage his reputation, it is getting a little ridiculous at this point, right? I have never spoken to the guys over at JFK's show, but I do find them entertaining to watch. Hey, girl. And again, fair is fucking fair, right? Fair is fair. Let's be fair here, all right? Now, throwing low blows at someone who passed away and their loved one, insinuating that anyone had anything to do with it, was disgusting. It's probably one of the most deplorable things I have ever heard in my entire life. My daughter is literally named after a friend of mine who passed away, a very close friend of mine who passed away from an overdose. It's gross, okay? An overdose isn't anybody's fault. It's accidental. That's why it's called an accidental overdose. But the way someone died is not who they were as a person, right? It's not who they were as a whole, right? I think when you have no argument, you run for the low blows, right? And we've seen that. I see it every day with me, people coming after me. I think it really starts to piss me the fuck off when people act like they're sort of high and mighty when they're not, right? I have a serious issue with people using someone's death, especially an overdose death, as some sort of gotcha, right? It's not a fucking gotcha. Someone passed away. Someone died, right? And for James Jackson, that someone was someone he cared about and loved and someone very close to him, okay? Now, someone very close to me wasn't my partner at the time, didn't die of an overdose, but I'm going to share something personal with you guys because it sort of correlates, right? Back in the early 2000s, my fiance died in a house fire. And he got out of that house fire and went back in for people who were still inside. Because that's the fucking kind of guy James was. He was just a good-hearted person. And there were still people in the house. And so even though he got out safely, he went back in. And then he didn't make it out that second time, right? Didn't make it out that second time. And it happened in Brockton, so they had bars on the windows, even on the first floor. Ridiculous. And so they couldn't get out the windows. What we were told is that a cigarette was dropped on the couch, and the couch ignited, and they tried to carry the couch out the door. And as it got to the doorway, it flared up, sticking people on the inside and one person on the outside. And I never in my heart believed that that was all of what happened. I mean, obviously that's what the firefighters said, but in my heart, I believed there was more to that story than just that. And we do know that James got out and went back in because the guy that survived told us that he got out and went back in. But I lost somebody I loved, somebody I was going to spend my life with. And to this day, my husband brings me to his grave, and we change the rosary beads on his gravestone. And I cannot fathom what kind of human would use a death of a loved one as some sort of fucking gotcha. I don't give a shit how they died. I don't care if it was a car accident, if it was a motorcycle accident, if it was an overdose, or in my case, a fire. To use someone's death, someone you love, someone you cared about, as some sort of weird gotcha, you might have had something to do with it, bold-faced fucking lie, is disgusting. It's deplorable. It's inhumane. It's petty. And people really need to start waking up to, who the fuck are you following at that point? Who are you following at that point? My heart goes out to James Jackson, because I know what it's like to lose someone you love a really horrible way. And to have someone use that, I have no words for how disgusting that is. I really fucking don't. I really, really don't. This is who he is, folks. That's who Turtle Boy is. He is a man who goes as low as he needs to because he's like a rat in the corner who needs to hide. He can't have anything about himself get out, that would be bad for his reputation and his clicks and his views, and he really cares about those subscriber numbers. So, in all reality, the only thing he can do is throw innuendo, narrative, rumors, and lies around and hope that his cult latches on the way they do and spreads it like wildfire. I can't even talk. I'm so fucking flustered. Like wildfire. I don't know how anyone would have felt good watching that. And I didn't even watch it. I heard about it from numerous people. I don't think I could watch something like that without smashing a screen. The fact that I didn't even watch it, but I had to hear about it, disgusting. That's disgusting. That's utterly fucking gross. Everyone else's fault but his. It's everyone else. Everyone else is an asshole. Why the fuck do you care about people who have 20,000 subscribers or 3,000? Like in my case, like, why the fuck do you care? Why do you care so much? Why are you so angry? Why do you care so much? What is his arrest record? Newsflash, folks, I have an arrest record from early 2000s when I was a drug addict. Imagine having an arrest record. Makes you the worst person in the world, apparently. That's disgusting. I don't give a fuck what his arrest record looks like. Does that make him a bad person? Or does it mean that he's dealt with a lot in his life and probably has some real severe trauma, right? That's what I'm guessing. An arrest record doesn't magically just make you a bad person. Dude, I went from somebody who had an arrest record to somebody who worked in a prison. Come on, stop it. That's ridiculous, okay? People turn their lives around all the time. I'm fucking living proof of that. I am literally living proof of that. Here I am, living proof fucking proof that happens, right? Why does his arrest record have any relevance other than to harm him? You're weaponizing trauma and pain, and it's disgusting. And the fact that people still don't see it and they still are clapping along like fucking seals makes me nauseous. It makes me sick to my stomach. And these other people that stand on these ivory towers like they're better than everyone else, those people also make me fucking sick. You know, I don't want that for James. As happy as I would be for somebody to take the fucking trash out where it belongs, I don't want that for him. You know, I don't want that for James. I don't know him. But if you just look at him in his eyes when he's upset, you can tell he's got a lot of pain, right? I know that look. I know it well. I wear it myself. I wear it myself. I know exactly what that fucking pain feels like and to live with it every single day. Nobody knows what you've been through but you. Nobody has walked a mile in your shoes but you. Nobody knows your hardships, your circumstances but you. People can say whatever they want about you. They don't know. They're speculating, right? They're fucking speculating. They have no idea what you've been through, what you've overcome, what you carry every day. I'm sure, just like I do, James carries every day that she passed away, and he thinks about it every day. Every day. Don't forget, have the man's name. My fiance who passed away, I have his name tattooed on my hip. It says James. They just happen to have the name, but it says James with a shamrock. I got it after he passed. Every single waking day, I think about what would have happened if I wasn't at work that night. What would have happened if I wasn't all the way in Maine? What would have happened if I had just picked him up that night and he wasn't there, right? Or if I had come home early from working in Maine. I think about the what ifs a lot. Even though I know there's nothing I can do that would have changed it, I still think about it, still beat myself up over it. What if I had just called and told him to go home? What if I had picked him up? What if I never went to work? What if I called in? Those what ifs will drive you nuts. And long after it happened, 20 years after it happened, here I am still carrying it every day. You don't lose trauma, you carry it. You fucking carry it. It's in your eyes, it's in your heart, you carry it. But it makes you a better person all around. It makes you empathetic and sympathetic and kind, because you know what it's like to go through something like that. And so you don't want to see anybody else go through something like that. And you can help people, which is what I turned my pain into, as a way to help other people out of different things that I have been through myself. You carry it like a fucking backpack full of weight. You can do all the trauma therapy in the world. I still do trauma therapy weekly. It isn't going to magically disappear. You're still carrying that weight every day. And nobody, and I don't give a fuck who you are, nobody has the right to use that pain, that trauma against you. You think people who are drug addicts wanted to run around committing crimes and being assholes? Nope. No, we definitely do not. Not by a long shot. I turned my life around, and I've been sober 18 years. It doesn't always work out like that. But if I can, anyone can, right? I'm disgusted. I mean, I have CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress, instead of regular PTSD, which they consider one trauma. Mine's a multitude of traumas. I was in foster care. I was abused in foster care. I was abused as a kid and as a young adult with my abuser. Listen, I've been through the ringer myself. I carry that weight with me every fucking day. But I also recognize it in other people. And I would never use someone's pain, that kind of trauma, as some sort of gotcha. As some sort of, ooh, I'm mad that you know things about me that you could, don't do dumb shit. If the sewer turtle didn't do shit that could get him in trouble, or do shit that people would fucking say something about and he'd be ashamed of, then he wouldn't fucking do it to begin with. All right? That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. To sit there and use James's, I don't know if it was girlfriend, baby's mother, whatever, her death as some sort of fucking gotcha. If somebody used my James's death that way, we'd have a very serious issue. It's more than cruel. It's more than cruel. You don't have a heart at that point. Like, there doesn't exist. All you care about is yourself. And I mean, I think that's been demonstrated a multitude of times with him. You know? And that's terrible, Joan. That should never happen either. But you're right. It doesn't reflect on you. It reflects on them. And what, Aiden, it doesn't reflect on James. It doesn't reflect on James. It reflects on Aiden. Because no one on planet Earth would go that low. That's just gross. It's really fucking gross. And I'm getting really sick and tired of these people that act like they're better than everyone else and above everyone else, and they can just do and say what they want. Our good friend Nan Gallagher made this statement, okay? Statement that she had threatened, I guess, Jess Machado with legal action about something she said about LTL. Now, again, I don't agree with whatever the hell Jess rants around about when it comes to LTL, but I'll tell you this. Threatening legal action, Nan, isn't going to get you anywhere, not with me. I still have a First Amendment freedom of speech to give my fucking opinion, and my opinion is you're a shitbag. You're a shitbag who shared a recording, a voicemail of a woman asking for legal advice. And you shared that with the man that you know she has an order on, the perpetrator, the abuser. You threw your ethics as an attorney out the fucking window. So your threats to people of lawsuits didn't work over here. I'm laughing at you. That's ridiculous. You can't sue somebody for their First Amendment freedom of speech right to give a fucking opinion on how you suck. You can try if you want. Good luck with that, though. Let me know how that works out. Let me know how that works out. Let me know. I'm tired of this shit. I am tired of these people acting like they're fucking high and mighty, including Jess. Jess Machado acting like she's so high and mighty. You know, she's better than everyone else. I mean, the paperwork I have says you're not better than anyone else. It says that you've struggled like anyone else. Struggled with evictions and car repossessions and all these other things. I mean, isn't she the same person that uses that as some sort of gotcha against other people? I'm confused here. I'm confused. It's not a fucking gotcha. Okay? Jess, it's not a gotcha. It's life. It's fucking life. It's called not having enough money to cover everything. That's what it's called. But if you're going to come at other people fucking sideways, you better have your own shit correct. Because this is the kind of shit that I mean. As humans, we are all flawed. Okay? We're all flawed. We're all fucking flawed. Okay? Everyone, unless you're rich, has had problems with rent or paying your car note or paying your insurance or your utility bills or getting groceries. Like, every fucking person on planet Earth who isn't rich has these issues. To use them as some sort of gotcha, like you use someone's old arrest record like a gotcha. I don't give a fuck if he was arrested 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I care about who people are right now today. I don't judge them based on what happened in their lives a long time, because I didn't walk a fucking mile in their shoes. I don't know what they carry with them, right? We all make mistakes. No one, and I mean no one, is fucking perfect. I'm tired of these people acting like they're fucking perfect and then trying to poo-poo down on everyone else. It's fucking utterly ridiculous. Let me make something abundantly clear here, okay? I am not in any cult, Free Karen Reed or anti-Free Karen Reed. I am on the side of humanity. All right. I don't know if I've made that clear, but I'm making it clear again now. I am on the side of what is right and what is wrong, not what people want me to do, not what people think I should do, what I choose to do because I am my own fucking person and nobody's going to tell me what I should or shouldn't do. They can criticize me, they can call me names, they can do whatever it is, the fuck that they do on Twitter, on Facebook. Here's the difference. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a rat's ass because I know in my heart what I'm doing is right. What I'm doing is the correct thing for me, right? I don't need a fucking pat on the back from anybody on Twitter. I don't need a pat on the back from anybody on fucking Facebook. You can criticize that I work on YouTube. I don't give a shit. You can criticize who I help. I also don't give a shit. You can criticize anything you want about me. I don't give a shit. It's really that simple. I don't know why you waste your fucking breaths, right? At this point, I'm going to do what I think is right, period. No pressure from anti-Karen Reed or free Karen Reed is going to change that. No amount of trying to disparage me, insult me, or any sort of bullshit like that is going to magically make me go away, shut up, or not do what I do. I did it long before I had a YouTube channel. I'm not going to magically not do it now. Get the fuck out of here. The audacity of some people to me is fucking amazing. Really, it is. Thank you, Jim. Jim said, thank you for sharing today. It took me 20 plus years to get over survivor's guilt regarding my mom. I still miss her and struggle still just without the guilt. Yes, survivor's guilt's a bitch. And I don't think I have gotten over it, to be honest, because I still do the whole what if thing, you know? And that's exactly what it's called, survivor's guilt. But using someone's pain that way is fucking gross, right? I didn't share that story for, you know, for people to feel bad. I shared that story to show that people carry this shit without saying anything to anyone, except for the people close to them, right? They carry it around every day, all day. You never know what's going through someone's mind. You never know what kind of mental state they're in. You don't know if maybe insulting them, really for no reason other than your own petty jealousy, is going to put them over the edge, right? You have no idea what people deal with in their everyday fucking lives. But if you're piling on to someone because the sewer turtle and his cult told you to, or because people don't like the way you do things, when they could just, I don't know, ignore you and go the other way if that's what they chose to do. It's what I do. I don't care what you do, whatever the fuck it is that you do. And I'm going to do what I do. I don't get to choose who's a victim, right? That's the bottom line. I don't get to choose who is a victim. A victim is someone who's been taken advantage of. And whether it's free Karen Reed or anti-free Karen Reed, I don't get to choose who becomes a victim. It's not the way it works. I don't say, oh, because the person was free Karen Reed, they're just not a victim because they were free Karen Reed. That's not the way it fucking works. I was a volunteer advocate for 15 years before I started a YouTube channel. It's now been 18 years. I don't choose who's a victim dependent on what they believe that I disagree with. It's not how victims work. It's not. And that way of thinking is flawed. It's small-minded and flawed. Where did that get anyone? Where did telling everyone to go fuck themselves get anyone in the last 2 years? I'd just like to know. I mean, we can tell everyone to go fuck themselves. We can do that, right? We can do that us versus them thing again, but where'd that get anybody? Did it wake anyone up from the cult? I don't think it did. Did it help in any way, shape, or form? Were people getting apologies back then? I mean, what did it do by telling people it needs to be an us versus them, free Karen Reed versus anti-free Karen Reed? Like, where did that get anyone? I want to like an actual answer, because in my mind, it got everybody absolutely fucking nowhere, right? It got everybody nowhere. As a matter of fact, that made everything worse. In my mind, that's not working, right? I don't pick and choose who I help or who's a victim based on their beliefs that I might not agree with. Everyone here who watches me knows that I do not think Karen Read is innocent. That does not change. Right. I don't have selective. That's not the way it works. You either are or you aren't. It doesn't matter. If I believe that Karen's guilty and you believe she's innocent, does that mean that I need to tell you to go fuck yourself? Does that mean we can't have humanity? I was unaware that's the way that people are going to tell me how it works. They can choose to do whatever the fuck they want, but I'm going to do my thing my fucking way. That's why I have a channel. The people who like to criticize people having channels, I find it so hypocritical for people who had channels or did YouTube or fucking were at some point helping Aiden, and then they weren't, basically being like, oh, well, anybody who came from free Karen Read to anti-free Karen Read is just a piece of shit. Isn't that kind of where you yourself came from? Like from the turtle, like, make it make sense. Someone make it make sense to me, please, for the love of fucking God. Jess Machado herself was written about by Aiden, right? She still calls it a hit piece. She still calls it a fucking hit. Didn't you come from him, Jess? Like, you want to criticize everybody else on planet Earth, right? Just for the turtle, for your friend there, bud. But you don't know all the things that are going on. You think you do, but you don't. And if you do and you turn a blind eye, well, shame the fuck on you. Shame on you. To be fair, I'm not a fan of Melanie Little. She gives out a lot of misinformation for someone who's a lawyer. And I also just want to point out, maybe, just maybe, if you give sort of blind, you're basically, I've seen a lot of this, right? People are like, Nan's a lawyer, right? So she must know better than Twisted because she's a lawyer. If you are giving that sort of blind, like, oh, she must be right because she's a lawyer thing, maybe it's time to think about why. Why are you? Just because she's a lawyer? You just believe her because she's a lawyer? Does that make anybody else not right simply because she's a lawyer? I mean, Melanie Little was or is a civil attorney, right? But she's given out a lot of misinformation and untrue things. A lot. This situation is no different. Nan owed a duty, in my opinion, and in the opinion of the professional context and standards, to Donna. She didn't give it. She handed it right over to the man that she's got an order on so that he could further harass her. It's unethical, and it's fucking just gross as a human. He was mad at you, so you ran right to the voicemail and was like, let me run this to Aiden right now. He'll like me again. I mean, that's pathetic. That's pathetic. I don't know how Nan, because apparently Nan, condolences, but apparently she's getting a divorce, right? And apparently she plans on moving here to Massachusetts to start start a firm somewhere here. A couple bits of bad news I have for her. Number one, you kind of sunk a lot of your chance to work with places here in Massachusetts, because if you weren't aware, Massachusetts is not a red state, it's a blue state. And you're over here making fun of housing and food stamps. That's not going to work so well, especially since you work in medical, right? And if you weren't aware, BMC sits right outside where there is a homeless crisis and an addiction crisis. Just say it. You think they're going to trust somebody that ran to the opposite person in a case with a voicemail and knew it was going to be put on the internet and then doubled and tripled down on it? Oh yeah, BMC is definitely going to trust you. Children's Hospital, yep, they definitely would trust you. Are you tone deaf? Are you that tone deaf? Also, I'm pretty sure, see the way it works, right? But she's a lawyer, so she knows this, right? When you get a divorce and you have a minor child, the other parent has to agree for you to move out of state. You can't just move the minor child out of state. So that's got to go through court, because if the other parent doesn't agree, there's like a 2% chance you'll ever get the okay to actually move out of state. Most of the time, the judge will say, no way. No, you'll be staying in this state. Thank you. So, I mean, I don't know why she had all her hopes and dreams setting on moving here to Massachusetts. Don't know why she would want to do that. if you don't even know what your ethical standards are in the state of New Jersey? You think the state of Massachusetts wants you? The fuck out of here. The fuck out of here. Absolutely not. Abso-fucking-lutely not. It's not a fucking thing. Now, since I'm such a fraud and a grifter and, all those things, I'm now going to talk about how to support the channel, because I didn't do that in the beginning because I felt like it was more important to sort of get this shit out that I needed to say, because I found what he did deplorable and disgusting. Not that he doesn't do everything that's disgusting and deplorable, but that was really, and then the people that sit there and act like they're high and mighty, like Dan and Jazz, it fucking bothers me. It bothers me. We not act like all humans are flawed. I'm very open. I'm flawed. I'm a flawed human, right? I was once an addict. I'm a flawed human. I carry a lot of trauma. A lot of people do. But to use someone's trauma in that way is really just disgusting and deplorable. So I needed to get that sort of off my chest first. Right? It might be, Becca. It might be. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, are you moving here for that? Like, that's fucking crazy. Like, you know what I mean? You're diehard cultist. I mean, that's a little crazy if you ask me. That's my fucking opinion. Nonetheless, there are a bunch of different ways that you can help support the channel, because I'm going to keep saying shit people don't want me to say. That's why I get attacked. It's really that simple. If you haven't noticed, those attacks have ramped up in the last couple of weeks because I don't stop saying things that people just don't want me to say. It makes them look bad. Well, unfortunately, it's the fucking truth, right? Unfortunately. I'm not trying to just make people look bad. But when you're doing shit that's harming other people and you're laughing about it like it's funny, I'm not going to sit back and just act like I didn't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. The amount of hate that gets spread around, the amount of rumors, the amount of lies, the amount of insults. If you have no argument, you go to insults. That's how that works. That's how that works. If you have no other way of getting the argument through, you run to the insult department. It's kind of how that works, right? In other good news, I'm going to go to the Halloween store today to pick out my daughter's costume. So we'll see what they got left. Usually they're like wiped out, but when I was there last week, it wasn't bad. But we'll see what happens. All right. So there are a bunch of different ways you can help support the channel. I dropped my headphones down here when I was mad, and I moved this. I can unplug it so I can plug my phone in. One of the ways are to like and share. Those are free, obviously. Like the video, share, subscribe. That's always super helpful to the channel. Commenting in the live streams is always super helpful. Commenting after the thing isn't live anymore on the video, that's always helpful. And then there are the monetary ways to donate, which we can always use the support for sure. We have Venmo, CashApp, PayPal, Revolut for those of you who are out of country, which PayPal also works for. There's a link that you can use up at the top of chat, and it's pinned in there. And you can click on it. You can enter any amount you want. You can use your credit or debit card. You can also remain anonymous on any of these things. Our Amazon wish list right now is set to private because people were fucking around with it and being obnoxious. So if you need that, you can just reach out to me or Jess or someone, and we'll happily send you the privated version of it. And that's that. So let me get to some of these comments, because I have been sort of focused on what I wanted to get out, that I was, watching them go by, but we don't. Jane's right. There's no such thing as a fucking selective victim. A victim is a victim, no matter what they believe that I might agree or disagree with. That's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It really is. Defending him in any capacity after the indefensible, it should be a deal breaker. For a lot of people, it just isn't, unfortunately, But I applaud you, Sam, for having a red line, because some people just don't, I know, girl. Listen, by the way, Carol, I need you to email me. I got a question, but I don't want to do it live. But I have a question I want to ask you. So if you could just shoot me an email so I can ask you that question. Believe me, girl, I know. I don't have a lot of living family, and the holidays are tough sometimes, you know? It gets tough. People don't think about these things, you know? I can't do with the faces. The faces, like everyone makes faces, but she makes like a lot of exaggerated faces, like every 5 minutes. It's a little much for me. I can't do it. Yeah, I still am in therapy every week for my trauma. I mean, unfortunately, it's going to be a lifelong thing. CPTSD is a lifelong thing. It's not something there's a cure to, you know. So therapy on an ongoing basis is something that most people with trauma are going to need, you know. Jim said, I say it all the time. We're on different sides of Karen Reed, but I can at least respect the O'Keefes for what they went through and are still going through. Lost a son, a brother. I don't hate them just because I'm free Karen Reed. See, and that's the problem, though, Jim. You have your own mind. Some people don't. They just follow along with whatever the leader says and does. And that's the problem we run into, is when people start compromising their own morals and their own ethics and their own way of being as a human to just adopt who he is. And it happens all the time. You know, there was a woman that asked to apologize to me through someone else I know the other day. I had her blocked on Twitter, and this has happened a million times, but I had her blocked on Twitter, and a friend of mine asked, like, hey, can this person, you unblock this person? They were like, to apologize. And I said, sure. You know, and you guys know I don't post personal messages. It's not something I do, whether I like you or not. It's just not something I do. But this person kind of echoed a lot of what other people say, which is, I apologize. I kind of adopted how I saw you based on his adoption of that. And now I can clearly see what you were talking about when you say it's not clear to you when you're in the cult, but when you're outside of it, it becomes clear as day, and you don't understand how you didn't see it right there in your face. And that's what she said. She said, I see it clear as day now. Clear as day. Looking on the outside now, being like, how did I not see this before? You know? People don't ask themselves, like, why, right? Why are the attacks on me ramped up? Because I said I helped the victims, that's why. And because one side isn't happy because it's a free Karen Reed person, and the other side isn't happy because they followed the turtle. So both sides decide it's time to pile onto me because I helped someone. I mean, how sane does that sound? Let's pile on because she's helping someone we think was free Karen Reed and made t-shirts. So what? So fucking what? When people come out of that sort of cult mentality and that mob mentality that he sort of puts out there, they start to realize that they were saying things and doing things that they wouldn't normally say or do, except they were sort of subscribing to this cult-like mentality. And what kind of humans are we if we just tell them to go fuck themselves? We don't give people grace, right? We don't help them. People escape cults all the time, and they need what's called deprogramming. And it takes some time for them to sort of come out of that, you know, mentality and stop automatically doing things or automatically calling people names they would have called them, right? It's sad. It's sad, but what kind of people would we be if we were just like, go fuck yourself? I am not that kind. They can choose to be that kind of person. I'm just not that kind of person. And if you think like insulting me is magically not going to make me who I am, I'm sorry to tell you, it's not, right? It's not. I choose not to do that shit because I think it doesn't do anything but hurt someone, right? It's a reason you don't see me on Twitter just attacking anyone and everyone I have a fucking problem with, because it serves no purpose. It serves no purpose. I have something to say, I say it here. It's not something I wouldn't say to them, right? It's crazy to me, you know? It's really crazy to me that it even needs to be a thing, right? Like that we talk about, that I even would need to explain why I choose to be who I am and allow other people to be who they are, right? Anybody being criticized for helping someone, that's fucking weird. That is weird shit to me. That's strange, right? Hey, Benny. Well, that's the thing, right? If Aiden didn't illegally record Karen, nobody would be talking about it, right? But he also wants to blame everybody else for that, and including JFK. They are blamed for that because he now knows that they talked to Karen and they have all of the inside information. And all of the inside information I have been telling you guys for I don't even know how long. All of the times that he has threatened her, all of the times he has threatened to go to the state police, to Tully, all the ways that he tried to control her through the first trial, second trial. Like, I've been telling you guys this for 2 years. Nobody was listening. Now here again, I'm not a fan of Karen Reed. So do I think kind of she made her bed? But at the same time, this is who he is, guys. This is who he is. Did you really think that he wasn't going to use it to try to get what he wanted out of it, which was fame and fortune? He wanted her to be in the documentary with him, the book deals and the movie deals, to be together and to travel. And this is what he wanted. And he was going to try to get it one way or the fucking other. He didn't give a shit about the free Karen Reed movement. He didn't give a fuck about any of that. He cared about money, dollar signs, fame and fortune. That's all he cared about. That's all he'll ever care about. He doesn't care about humans. He does not have the capacity to care about another human being. He does not have it. It does not exist. Hey, girl, hey. Well, that's the thing, right? He expected all the praise, all the thank yous, and all the pats on the back, you know? Yes, I can, Wallflower. After the show, if you email me back and remind me after the show, because I'll forget. Because if Jesse doesn't see it and remind me, I'll forget. They did take a break, and I could have probably told them that when they came back, it would be a big bombardment, you know, because they took that break. But I don't talk to them, so I don't, you know. I don't, know. Because I don't talk to them. But had I talked to them, I would have told them that was my, theory on it. All right, so I have it's $2 for Beach Dance. Thank you, Beach Dance. Said your kindness, love. No, thank you, my friends. Thank you very, very much for donating to the channel. We appreciate it more than you know. I mean, that's what they're going to do. It's their way of making them go away. It's their way. Do you not see how ramped up the attacks on me are? How ramped up they are? They're ramped up on purpose. It's to get me to go away. It's to get people not to support me. It's to trash me, insult me, say bad things about me so that people will fall out of supporting the channel and that I can't, it's easier for a channel of 30,000 to get by than it is a channel of 3,000. You know what I'm saying? It's because they have money coming in all the time. I don't have that. So it's not as easy for my channel. They know that, right? So they try to prey on that by, if they can take that away, then they think it'll shut me down and quiet me. Unfortunately for them, I'm never going to just shut up. They clearly don't know a goddamn thing about me if they thought that was going to happen, So, Donald, I had revealed that a long time ago. No one listens. That's the difference. That's why Aiden was fishing around that hole. Well, if I took a deal, he was already in the midst of attempting to try to do so. And he had threatened numerous amounts. He was on to save his own ass. Make no mistake when he does it in the end. Okay? But it's not an if, it's a when, right? And I've been telling people for a long time, he used threats of going to the police numerous times against his, his buddy Karen Reed, who he claimed he cared about and was a friend, and all of that's a farce. Let's just throw it out there. All of it's a farce. He's not a friend to anyone. Anybody who thinks he's their friend, I'm sorry. Like, he would turn on anyone, and the fact that some people don't see that hurts my heart for them, because in the long run, they're the ones who are going to be hurt by it, right? Like, they're the ones who are going to be thrown under the bus and hurt by it, because he would throw anyone under the bus to save himself. It's sad. It's sad. I would never fucking do something like that. ever. He chose to do what he did. Those consequences lay squarely on his shoulders. You know? Of course he blatantly said he didn't, because he never thought a piece of that recording would ever make its way out. That's why. He thought, because of the contents of it, and I told you guys this, because of what is said on that recording, he was betting all of his chips on the fact that it would never come out, because there's shit on there that does not look good for him or her. Neither one of them. So he bet on none of it coming out for that very reason. And so he thought, well, I could just deny it because there's no way Karen's going to go to the cops with it for obvious reasons. And there's no way she's going to, release it because of the obvious reasons. So fuck it. I'm just going to deny it. Nobody's going to know it better. And then pieces of the recording came out. Now he's saying, who cares? Right? Now he's saying, who cares? Who cares if I recorded her? Who cares? Well, I'm going to guess the people you record care, right? And it's also a crime in the state of Massachusetts. I enjoy my therapy as well, Wallflower. I have a really great therapist that I have gotten a friend and my sister in with, and they've both had her now for years because she is freaking amazing. Girl, you can always reach out to me anytime you want. We got lots in common. Wallflower said when she was listening to the cult behavior, I was actually tuning it out, so I don't remember things. That's okay. Twisted Tragedies 3, I'll put it in the thing here at Gmail. Carol. Pound sign. Put it right in the chat for you so you can't forget it. There you go. I know, right? I'm a public menace. I love my shirt. I am a public menace. I think I paid like $5 for this shirt, but it's super comfortable, not gonna lie. Right? It should be much tougher if that's the case. You know what I'm saying? If you don't even know what ethical boundaries you have and don't have, that's a little concerning for me. I'm just saying, Well, there's actually a couple hundred people watching, but it's split between, because you have to remember, I stream to multiple. So while I'm streaming here on YouTube, I'm also streaming on Twitter, and I'm also streaming on Facebook at the same time. So I'm streaming on all three platforms at once. So you guys only see the number of YouTube people watching. I have a thing right here that tells me how long I've been live, and then there's numbers right here that tell me and then if I sort of hover over it with my mouse, it'll tell me how many people on each platform are watching, which is kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie, It's sad when we decide our behavior on whether it or not it's illegal. How about whether or not it's morally right, or ethical, or kind? You know what I mean? You're welcome, Donald. Whether it's kind or not. Well, that's the thing, right? If he thinks that they didn't already know it was coming after he threatened the first time in trial 1 with the blackmail shit, come on. They knew. You have to know at that point. That's the same playbook he does over and over and over. Yeah, you can also message Jessica on Discord if you need me and you can't get me. So it's not a Zoom. It's in person. And he has a hearing right now in New Jersey for an order against him. Actually, let me check my messages here. Hold on a second. Hold on. And like I told you guys, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure you're going to see another criminal charge come out of New Jersey. Sam said some people can retain information and are great test takers, but that doesn't mean they have morals and ethics. I see this with doctors as well. And I think you're 100% right, Sam. I actually said that to somebody this morning, that, the professions that have these tests, You can do a test fairly easily. It doesn't mean that you're going to be good in practice with it. Whether it's a lawyer or a doctor, there are bad in every fucking profession. And to just automatically believe someone simply because they're a lawyer or they're a doctor, well, that's why second opinions exist, especially for doctors, which is like, I've been, because again, my daughter has a rare disease, less than 200 people on planet Earth have, okay? And if it wasn't for multitude of doctors working together, my kid wouldn't have the care she has, because she's basically been a pincushion her entire life of experimental shit, right? And so we've had bad doctors and we've had really good ones. One doctor might completely miss something or say, no, that's not it. And then the other doctor finds it right away. It is, right? And if I believed the first one, just because they were a doctor and I didn't suspect that, like, wait a second, hold on, something's not right here, then maybe we wouldn't get those answers, right? We wouldn't get them. And so you can't just believe someone simply because they are a lawyer or they're a doctor. That's fucking crazy to me. That is insane. Like, oh, well, they're a lawyer, so they have to know better than you. That's not true. That's not true at all. I heard the song. I'm just worried about, see, that's the thing. You can't play music on YouTube without getting a strike, right? There's no Zoom that I know of. But I am going to get the recording of it. So hold on a second. So I'm going to get the recording of it when it's over. I don't know if they're going to give it to me today, if it's going to take a day or two. I don't know. We'll see. But I am going to get the recording of the hearing. But Sam, you're right about that. That's for sure. But the song would be great if I worry too much about the copyright strikes, and I would guess that they own the rights to it. You can't see, that's the problem with YouTube, is you can't just play music. It's shitty like that. Hello from Florida. Space Coast, can I ask, is your handle at Space Coast because you live near the Space Coast Center? My husband played the World Series of softball at the Space Coast Center there a couple of years back, and it was an amazing experience. One that we've only done obviously one time, but it was great. And it was a beautiful area over there near the Space Coast Center. But happy hump day. Priscilla said, I too knew after watching one TV live during Carrie I could not stand this guy. Red flags were flying immediately. No respect for women or people in general. I thought I was alone. You're not alone. There's a lot of people that just can't stand him, that won't even say it out loud. They'll say it to me in private, but they won't even say it out loud because they're too worried about being harassed into oblivion, Found all the other YouTube creators before I broke down and listened to. Yeah, I don't blame you, It is an eye-opener, though, to see how many. He had to go. Yes, he had to go in person to New Jersey. He was not going to get away with a Zoom this time. It was an in-person hearing. So one of two things are going to happen here. He's either going to get another hearing date for like a full trial on it, or they're going to give the order, one or the other. Oh, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they came right on in, and then go right back to him and take things out of context and spin them. It's the way everything works. It's crazy, It is challenging for sure. I mean, my daughter is 20. She's not a baby anymore, but she's still my baby, and she still has a lot of complexities. And there's nothing I wouldn't do for any one of my kids, and they all know that, They're mommy's girls just as much as they are daddy's girls. Well, they're always here, right? They're always watching. They may not be able to comment because they've been blocked, but they're definitely, they can comment, but they comment into the abyss. They don't realize that their comments aren't being seen because they've been blocked and banned from being able to. Once you're like permanently banned, it'll still let you sometimes like write it in and you'll go through and chat, but you're the only person who will see it. The same thing with comments. They're the only people who are seeing it. We won't see it. It actually makes me sad, Priscilla, the amount of women that support him, because you're laughing at another woman being abused by a man. I don't get it, I don't get it. I just don't. You're right, DJ. You're 100% right. We have a lot of parents here that have children with autism. My nephew has autism. He's in kindergarten this year. but I get it. That's, believe you me. Well, there's no bus stop on this morning because he was in. It is Zoom. What do you mean? As far as I heard this morning, it was not Zoom for his hearing today. He had to be in person. Like in person for today. Maybe for yours. Yours is Zoom or no? Is yours in person? As far as I understood, his today though had to be in person, not on Zoom. Always my baby. Always. Literally. I love that. I hope I teach robots on YouTube reverted back to my original name. Oh, I see. Yeah. So the Space Coast, it was beautiful. We stayed right near where they let off the rockets there. We stayed not in the same time. It was not Cape Canaveral. It was the one right next to it. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, Into the Abyss. But the Space Coast Center was about 10, 15 minutes away from where we stayed. But we did actually get to see one of the rockets go off from Elon Musk. They weren't setting off any of the NASA ones, but one of his went off and we could see it from where we were staying. Maybe hers is Zoom, but the other victims was in person. It's in, hold on. Wait a second. Maybe they, hold on. Something is happening with Zoom, but I don't know. Yeah, so there's two people, right? That how are going for orders in the state of New Jersey against him. Interesting. So Cocoa Beach, that's it. I have a sweatshirt that says Cocoa Beach, but no, wait a second. No, Cocoa Beach was next door. It was Cape Canaveral, but Cape something else. Right next to Cape Canaveral, Cape something. Forget the name of it. Oh, we got lots of New Jersey people here, huh? I love it. I love it. So I think she's on Zoom. I think she's in Zoom and he's in person, as far as I understand. So I think they made him. I have a sweatshirt that I got that said Cocoa Beach, but I'm trying to look up the place now. It was right next to Cape Canaveral, but it wasn't Cape Canaveral, like literally right next to it. Port Canaveral. Maybe that's it. Port Canaveral. Know where I could look actually. It's my Airbnb thing. But it was beautiful. There was a beach across the street. Maybe it was Port Canaveral because I think it was Canaveral, or it wasn't Cape Canaveral. Yeah, I think it was Port Canaveral, and it was like we could see where the rockets, usually get set off, but it was a SpaceX one actually went off while we were there, not a NASA one. And there was just a little beach across the street. It was like it wasn't a neighborhood. It was like a condo, sort of thing, 2 bedrooms and a couple porches, but there was beach. No, I've been to Daytona. It wasn't Daytona. It was right next to Cape Canaveral. So I think it was Port Canaveral. I think they're right. It was Port Canaveral. And then we drove over to Cocoa Beach and I got my sweatshirt that says Cocoa Beach on it, my yellow sweatshirt that says Cocoa Beach on it while I was there. But Cocoa Beach was beautiful. They were having this big, almost like a giant, yard sale, but like, different companies had little tents and it was like they shut down the entire street over there near Cocoa Beach. It was nice. But the Space Coast Center was about 15 minutes away from where we stayed, and the Space Coast Center was really cool. Like it's a big sports complex, but I loved their dugouts. Their dugouts were like caged in, but they were also like concrete, so it was nice and cool inside the dugout instead of sitting in the stands where it's hot with the heat beating down on you. It was a really nice sports complex, Space Coast Center. Obviously, it's the first time I'd ever been there, but it was definitely, one of those. Yeah, Port Canaveral. Maybe that's it. Yeah, Port Canaveral. I definitely remember it being Canaveral. I'm kind of like looking at my Airbnb thing now to see, because I don't take a lot of Airbnb trips, so it's got to be in there. But I remember getting a decent deal on the place for the week, and it was a nice, one of my husband's dreams was to play in the softball World Series, and his team just happened to, qualify that year. And it was his birthday week too, so we were, able to raise the money to go and, check that off the bucket list. It was great. I haven't been on a trip like that since then, but it was one to remember. My daughter held like one of the baby alligators. She was so fearless. She was like, "Oh yeah, I want to hold it." Like, it was a cute picture. It was a very cute picture. Let me see. Where does it say? Trips? It says it trips, right? I remember that. So it was. It shows me the one we did in Maine. Interesting. Let me see. I feel like all the incoming information that I get during these streams sometimes is overwhelming because things are happening, like as we're streaming. And it's crazy. Let's see. Cape Canaveral. It says Cape Canaveral, but then when you click on it, it says Port Canaveral. Oh, they changed the way it looks now, but almost the same. It was a little garage. It was nice. It was a nice little place. And I had two screens like I do now, so it was an easy setup. I had a desk that went up and down. No, it was Port Canaveral. And it was a nice little place. Yeah, Port Canaveral. It was nice. It was a nice little place. And the beach was across the street, which was really nice. Just walk right across the street. Whoop, there was the beach. Definitely got to see one of the rockets shoot up, which was definitely cool. All right, hold on, let me see. What is this? Okay, hold on. Let me see. That's something. Here you go. Okay, this is, all right, I'm definitely going to pull this up here, okay? And again, this is Mr. James Jackson actually talking about the grief, right? Sad. I'm just going to show a short clip of it. But sad, nonetheless. To use something like that, like the turtle did, is fucking gross. It's just gross.
No, I didn't save her life because I was the one who found her, and that's why they would say that to me. But
it's terrible.
To get back to Lauren, she was great. She was a great person.
How long were you together, you and Lauren?
Almost would have been coming up on 3 years. Well, it would have been 4 years if she was still alive. We were together for 3 years.
Yes.
But we were best friends prior to being together too. She was my best friend. I never would have thought she would have been the girl I would have spent the rest of my life with. Like she would call me and be like, "Can you go Stop and shop with me? I gotta go get just something while she was cooking, and all right, let's go. I take a ride with her. Yeah, she was awesome, and I miss her a lot. It's so I'm just still going through the healing process, and we'll speak more on that, like you said. But yeah,
So, yeah, I just would like to go back. Did you say your mom had that dream last night? You were just talking to her
yeah,
today?
she called me. She called me this morning, and she said, and we were talking, and it just came up. It comes up a lot in the family conversations. Whether I
Sure
got
it
three
does.
sisters, I come from a big family background. So when I brought, my girlfriends come around my family. JFK, what up? That's my man.
Yes, he is.
JFK, he helped me get through this tremendously. Um, I was at a dark place, and like he said, if you go to look at it, I think it was one of our last lives or the live before, how we went out to New York. And I didn't want to go, and he was like, just get in the fucking car and go. Like, and I'm so glad I did. And, me and him have our talks, and we have our spiritual talks, and we believe in God. We have this, and my faith, that's a part of my healing process right now. It's brought me closer to God. It's brought me closer to my faith, my belief. And without my son, I also have a son. These are beautiful things in life. So, yeah.
Were you so you had faith and a relationship with God before Lauren passed, or
Um, I did. I've always had a relationship with God, but it was not the last trip we went, but the trip prior. There's actually a
The
video I made
pain,
at JFK, and you guys would never.
the pain is something so unimaginable that
but it was
I
4
wouldn't
days
wish
as
it on
well.
my
It's
worst enemy.
such a fast.
Looks like, he found
So he
her,
couldn't tell me right away. So he did his
which is
job. I
awful.
understand, but he told me no, she wasn't gonna die, and we're just gonna get her the help here, and then our plan is to move her to the ICU after here. And I was
They
like,
did
all
move
right.
my friend to the ICU,
That's why
same,
I
but
just didn't want to leave her side. That's why.
nope.
Absolutely. And you mentioned before about having regrets with maybe things you could have done differently. And honestly, James, for most of my life, I pretty didn't ever have any regrets. I have a couple now, and I mean, regrets are kind of a point. A regret is a pointless and sort of toxic thing to have, but it's also human nature.
Mhm.
For me, the one regret, because my husband, we were high school. Oh, I lost you. We were high school. We
You
got an
guys,
echo. Robert's dead. That's right. And it took me a long time. I don't. I mean, it's been 21 years for me though, James. And the other thing for me is I really struggled going to bed at night because I would stay up
right.
late
That's my
because I didn't
biggest
want to
struggle,
start the
Jim.
whole day again the next morning and have that realization every morning.
I said it like, before I go on these lives, because I was so used to just putting something to cope with anxiety.
It's sad, right? It's like, to sit there and think about, like Jim just said, to even hint at someone being responsible is 10 times worse. But that was the point, right? That's what Eden wanted to do, was hint at that, to make it dig in, right? Because he's such a fucking petty little bitch, right? And people don't ask themselves why. Ask yourself why these people attack. Why? Why does Aiden attack people? Why do any of these other people? Like, ask yourself why. Hold on one second, guys. point is ask yourself why, right? Ask yourself why anyone would be attacking other people for speaking, right? Not doing anything but speaking, right? Or helping a victim. Why do you think anybody would be mad about that? People don't start to ask themselves the deep questions of fucking why, right? Like, why? The answer is real simple. People don't even think about it. The answer is pretty fucking simple. Because they don't want you talking, or they don't want you helping someone. That's the point. That's the literal point. But if they're trying to stop you, right? What are they willing to do to stop you? This. What Aiden did to James. This is what he's willing. And more. It's not lost on me that the attacks on me have ramped up from both fucking sides. Right? But I'm not going to stop being myself. I'm not going to stop helping people because people think that free, care, and read people can't be a victim. I mean, that's crazy. Okay? Of course they can. A victim is a victim. I don't get to decide who's a victim based on whether they believe the same thing that I do in a case. That would be bonkers. All right? For instance, I know there's a lot of you here, right? Some of you are free, care, and read, right? Let me ask you a question. What do you think the point of standing at the Canton police station at this stage, right? At this stage. What do you think the point of standing at that police station at this stage would be? What do you think it would be? The point at this stage of standing at that police station in Canton isn't to change the chief. The old chief is gone, right? Berkowitz is dead. Old chief is gone. There's an interim chief. The only point that you would have in standing at that Canton police station holding signs about a case that's over, like Wallflower said, is to agitate. Because you know that the older Albert lives across the street. Now, why in the actual fuck would you want to sit there in front of a man's home, an elderly man nonetheless, to agitate an elderly man and woman that has nothing to do with anything? That's exactly why, Jim. But they don't live there, right? It's the older, Brian's dad and mom. So you want to sit there and intimidate elderly people? Like, that's your takeaway from this? The case is over, right? The criminal case is over. You're not asking for a new chief. The old chief's gone. You're not wanting to talk about Berkowitz. You're not yelling about changing corruption. All those cops have come out and talked to you people who stand out there. So what is the point of standing out there if not to sit there and agitate an elderly man and woman? Does anybody think that that is okay? Because here's the thing. Brian Albert's dad and mom have nothing to do with a goddamn fucking thing. There are also children that live in that house. So you want to keep disrupting elderly people in not so great health and children? What the fuck is really wrong with you? Is that what Free Care and Read stands for? Is intimidating the elderly and children? Brian Albert doesn't live in that house. Chris Albert doesn't live in that house. For what reason? Ask yourselves, for what reason? Why is Peter Murphy still standing outside there? Also, newsflash, Peter Murphy's wrong. The feds are not coming. Just FYI, so you guys know, he lied. Or he's getting bad information. The feds are not coming. It's over. It's over, dude. It's been over. I told you guys that before it was over. Like they're not coming. The feds are not coming. He keeps doing that whole like, oh, the feds are, they're not coming. It's over. It's been over. I know this for 1,000% fact. You don't have to believe me. That's okay. You know? Thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you very much. I mean, exactly. Rose hit it right on the nose. It's purely performative. But why does it need performative in front of children and elderly people? You want to be the source of an elderly person's heart attack in front of their grandchildren? That's what the fuck you're doing right now? I mean, it's crazy to me. They're not asking for anything. You're not changing corruption by standing there. You're doing it simply because the elderly Alberts live across the way. And no one else finds that fucking insane. I'm the only one. Like, come on. This is crazy. Like, when is there a line? You know? Like, there should be lines here. Chris doesn't live there. I mean, harassing Chris at his place of business is fucking crazy, too. He's not going anywhere. His business isn't going anywhere. What are you getting out of doing that other than hurting people? You know what I mean? Well, you are also sane, so there's that, Sam. You know, most people would say common sense is you wouldn't still be standing at the Canton PD holding your signs for across the street unless you want the elderly people across the street and their minor, like little grandchildren to see it. Is that not fucking crazy? Like, what are we doing? Want to talk about slumming? That's fucking slumming, all right? These are elderly people that have nothing to do with anything at all. Like, what the? And nobody questions Peter Murphy? Like, hey, Peter, what are we doing here, bud? There's a new chief. We're not asking for that anymore. None of these cops are going anywhere, right? So they're not even out there asking for something. They're still holding signs against the people who were witnesses in the case. What do you think that's going to do? It's not going to change anything. Right? Exactly. Thank you. You want to stand somewhere that you should be going there if you want to go somewhere, you know? It doesn't make sense, right, Jim? The only sense it would make if you wanted change was to actually, I don't know, hold a sign that would like ask for, they're not even asking for any sort of change. They're doing it as performance at this point. You're doing it to harass elderly people and children. I mean, how pathetic is that? Come on, Peter Murphy. Come on, man. Elderly people and children? Come on, seriously. What are you doing? The fuck are you doing? They use the police station as some sort of like crutch. Like, oh, well, we're in front of the police station. Are you turned around with your signs facing the police station? Are you, striking against the police station? No. You're taking pictures with the officers and the interim chief. The old chief isn't there. Helene is not there anymore, right? Berkowitz died. So what are you actually there for? Realistically. I'm not asking for any sort of change to happen. None of those officers are going to get fired because you're standing there with signs, right? Nothing about that scenario is going to change because you're standing there with signs. So what's the end game, really? Other than to agitate elderly people and children. And the fact that nobody on the free hear and read side seems to have a problem with it is the part that really gets me. These are elderly people and children. What the fuck are you doing? It's purely performance art. There's literally no point to it at all other than to agitate an elderly man. Leave that man the fuck alone, for the love of God. Leave that man and his grandchildren alone. These are kids. Kids. You know? Fuck, man. Like, the trial has been over. Anybody following Peter Murphy into doing this, you should be ashamed of yourself. I hope that you would be perfectly okay with people harassing your elderly family and children. Because if you're not, then you shouldn't be out there either. It's not during the trial. It's not like you're, raising your thing for justice. Nothing's going to happen at the police station. Nobody's getting fired. Nobody's, getting in trouble because you're standing there with your signs at the police station. And the signs don't say anything. They don't say, Canton PD, we want to see you. Let us ask you questions. Like, none of that. It's purely ridiculousness at this point, 160 days ago. All right. So 160 days ago, move the fuck on. Why do you want to harass elderly people and children? That's fucking weird. That's weird shit. That's weird shit. Like, Peter's mad. He got, kind of skipped over for chief. We all know that. That's not a secret, okay? But, I mean, you want to take it out on the elderly guy that lives across the street and his grandbabies? Come on, man. Like, when is enough enough? And when do people start saying, like, you know what? That you're probably right, and we're not doing that anymore, No, it changed absolutely nobody's testimony, Oh no, Tom Brady's mom is sick? That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. That lady is a rock star. Tom Brady's mom's a freaking rock star. I also think Gronk's mom is a rock star too. His dad and brothers are fun. That's the other thing. Like, why are we calling people the quote Suboxone twins? Like, why is that a fun thing to say? That's weird to me. Now we're making fun of the medications people are on. Should we call Aiden the Adderall goon? That's what we're doing? That's weird. What does Suboxone have anything to do with anything? Do you see like where it is? There's a line that like normal people with morals don't cross. And then there's these people who, once again, act like they're some sort of better than everyone else, and everyone else is slumming. Everyone but Jess Machado, right? Well, you can say that again, right? You can say that again, Benny. It's shameful. It's fucking shameful behavior. It's shameful. What does that have to do with anything? It doesn't. He just wants to find a way to disparage those guys, Yeah, no, I hate to break it to you, they're not. On like that specific thing, like on John's case, like it's over. It's done. It's been over. Like it's not, they're not still investigating it. They're not picking up little pieces. Like it's done. It's been done. They might be watching like other cases that have to do with the texts, but they're not like anything that has to do specifically with the case with John O'Keefe is done. It's been done. I told you guys this a long time ago, and had you guys listened, you would have known it was done. Peter Murphy's still saying, like, the fans are coming. They're not. I'm sorry to burst your bubble. They're not. They've been done. And it's like, I'm not saying that just like to say it. Like, that's the truth. They've been done. It's literally done. And it's like, you don't have to believe me. Cool. That's fine. You can believe Peter Murphy, who keeps saying the feds are coming, but you will literally be waiting until you turn into dust. And then, 5 years from now, when he's still saying it, then you can come back to me and be like, clearly you were right, Elise, and you knew, my bad, Oh, no, that's not good. That's not good. Lots of prayers to Tom Brady's mom, because that's no good. That makes my heart hurt, Yeah, it would. I think it's 20 for a felony witness intimidation charge. It's like carries like, I think the max is 20 or something like that, which is, that's essentially could be more than manslaughter, which makes no sense, but don't you love our laws, right? They're so great. Here's the thing. If you're going to disparage people, right, be fucking accurate. But the low blows just should show you exactly why he's doing it. He's not doing it because he thinks, but I mean, there's a big difference between what's true, right, and what's not. And also there's a big difference between someone who abuses a prescription and someone who's taking it to save their lives. Also, let's be like, the fact that he calls them this, but they're not even on. So it's like you're just calling them that to make them seem like bad people, or being on Suboxone doesn't make somebody bad, right? Being on methadone doesn't make somebody bad. Being on a benzo, maybe you have anxiety and you're on something like Klonopin. I would never take benzos, just not for me. I have anxiety, but I just kind of deal with it. They're not for me, but for other people, like my best friend who passed, she needed it. She needed it. She didn't take Klonopin though; it was Ativan, I think. And like that, if she didn't have it, she was like an anxiety-ridden lunatic. She needed it. Bottom line. And so then what? People would get to use that as some sort of like gotcha, like, oh, well, you're on a benzo, so you must be a junkie. That's just crazy shit. That's nonsense. That's a way to just make someone look bad. I think there's a big difference between things that are, true and not true. I mean, yeah, it's funny when it's true, but at the same time, it's, he's just ridiculous. Like, it's his way of sort of disparaging people, is to, call them junkies or crazy or criminals. And it's funny, like him pulling up anybody's arrest record right now is fucking hilarious to me. Has he seen his own? Has he seen his own goddamn arrest record? I'm sorry, what now? I'm not understanding. What? I couldn't take them because I'm already like all over the place. I feel like if I ever took an Adderall, I would be like bouncing off the walls like 10 times worse than I already usually am. Yeah, no, yeah, they still saying that. That's still happening. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate you. Robert Kraft is giving emotional support to Tom and his family. Oh, that's nice. That's nice to hear. So whoever continues to call the own students and something that's not or punching through his Adderall. Am I getting? Yes, you're getting that right. That's correct. That's another thing. Meth Muppet. Like, come on, bro. Meth was like big down south. It's not ever been a big thing here in Massachusetts. Just saying. Once again, calling somebody that is just a way to disparage them. Just a way to be like, they're a bad person. The fact that people don't wake up to this stuff is the part that really gets me. It's like, why do you think he's doing these things? Do you think he's doing these things because they're true and he just wants to expose someone? Or do you think he's doing these things because he knows those guys know the goods on him and that people might actually listen to them, where they don't listen to me because they just think I'm anti-free Karen Reed and whatever. Maybe they'll listen to JFK. And so he knows that they have stuff that could be very damaging to him. I know. I've been known. I've been screaming it from the rooftops. You can choose to believe me or not, but I don't just say shit to say it. It's a petty jealousy issue. And you have to remember, he's like, crackhead looking at the Silverados. Like, he's afraid. He's afraid. He doesn't know when he's going to be charged next or for what the charge will be. He's always looking over his shoulder. Well, when you live your life being dishonest, I guess that's how you would have to live, right? Most of us don't commit crimes and just hurt people. It doesn't make fucking sense. It's not moral. It's not ethical. It's gross. I don't know. How inside do you feel like a good person doing that is what I want to know. How? That would make me feel real gross as a human. These are human beings, okay? Human beings. How in the actual fuck can you just say shit you know isn't true with a straight face and claim that it is? I don't know, but he's been doing it for 10 years. So apparently he's, got that down pat, the lying, Jesse says, hi, Michael. Oh, they got the goods all right. I've had the goods for a while. So if they're talking to Karen, they definitely got the goods. Just saying. I didn't get them through her, obviously, because I'm not a fan of hers, but I got them other avenues. And so if they know all the things that I know, he might want to be afraid. I mean, I'm just saying. That's probably why he's lashing out, I'm guessing, I mean, what other reason would there really be for the lashing out, Of course he does. Oh, he's going to back off from Massachusetts. Oh, now he doesn't like us here in Massachusetts? Like, what do you mean? You should have already done that a long fucking time ago, right? You ruined your whole brand by being a turtle's asshole. Maybe learn the lesson and be your own person, Be be your own person. See, I'm my own person. I don't fall into one cult or the other. I do what I think is right, what's humane, what's the right thing to do, what's the fair and right thing to do, right? I am not going to fall into a one or other category, right? Period. So the people over here are going to be mad because I helped anybody who's free, care, and free. And the people over here are going to be mad because they listen to the sewer turtle. It is what it is, right? They wouldn't be mad if there wasn't something to be mad about. Why do you care what I do? I'm irrelevant, remember? I'm irrelevant and I have no idea what I'm talking about, so why would they fucking care what I have to say? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself why anyone would give a fuck what I have to say. That's correct, Cynthia. The Glier. I love that everybody else is calling him the Glier. That's fucking hilarious. Didn't see he's backing off. Meanwhile, his main focus is TV. Probably because TV doesn't talk about Kelsey, so he doesn't want to piss off TV or Brado, which is just fucking weird. Why not? Isn't that like a thing you would want to talk about? So weird. So weird. It's always a hit piece, you know? The link to what? What are we watching? Aiden's in person. He's in person in New Jersey. I'm being told he is in person and the victim is on Zoom. That's what I'm being told. So, I mean, I'll let you guys know how it goes when it's over, I guess, and I get word on his hearing, because I will get word at some point. In the meantime, though, can we just all remember that I am a small channel and I could definitely use the support. This week's been a tough week, I think, all around anyway. But today, fingers crossed that there's anything left, but we are going to go get my little costume today at the Spirit Halloween store. I love that store. I love playing around with all the random stuff they got. But if you would like to support the channel, there are one of a bunch of different ways to do so. With CashApp, Venmo, PayPal, Revolut. We have a link in the chat in the description of the video here on YouTube. And if you click on it, you can use your credit or debit card. And you can enter any amount. You can remain anonymous if you want on any of these things. And yeah, these are the monetary ways to support. Or you can buy a super chat or a super sticker, or you can gift memberships, or you can buy your own membership to the channel, which is also helpful. Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you very much. You guys can't see Cynthia's comments because she's on Facebook watching, and you guys are on YouTube and X. So that's why I try to put them up on the screen for you guys who are watching. Because other platform, you can't see other platforms' comments. So I try to put them up on the screen so that you all can sort of have a conversation, even if you're on different platforms. So thank you, Cynthia. Yeah, he had to drive to New Jersey. It is what it is, you know what I mean? It is what it is. Apparently, Bradle is at Kate's hearing to help Lauren. Weird. 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 Here's the thing. I'm not sure which hearing this is with Lauren for her, but I do know that, because there was two. There was one, I think, outside the courthouse, and then there was one in the Stoughton courthouse, which I was there for. And Lauren said that she saw Kate, but I know for a fact that she didn't see Kate. I was there. And so we were outside afterwards, and Kate came out, and she was like, how did she get in there? So she did not see her in the courtroom, as she is claiming to the court. I was there with Lauren that day in Stoughton, and she didn't see Kate. We didn't see Kate in the courtroom. So the fact that she's saying that she did see Kate and Kate was staring at her, that's a lie. I switched spaces, Lauren. She was standing behind me, and Aiden was doing this thing, and I was like, I think he's looking for you. So I was like, why don't you stand in front of me so that he can see you, right? So we switched spaces so that she could stand in front of me. We never saw Kate in there. We didn't really look around when we didn't see her. So that means that Lauren didn't tell the truth. She's lying. That's sad. You know, he could have flown in. It's a possibility, you know? Oh boy, I can't with that. I can't, I can't with that. I literally can't. Conflict. Oh, the conflict of interest again. I will not watch that guy. I refuse. I refuse. I'm sorry. Yeah, DJ, I agree. Top chat? Oh, yeah, that happens sometimes. Make sure if you're on the chat in YouTube that you guys change it from, if you're in the chat, it automatically, no matter whose live stream you're in, is always on top chat. So remember when you go into a live stream to go to the top of the chat and change it from top chat to all. Otherwise, you will like miss comments because for some reason YouTube sets it automatically to top chat instead of all. Don't ask me why, it's weird. But flipped? Yes, absolutely flipped. Bonkers. Absolutely freaking bonkers. I don't know what in the actual fuck is going on in that department. I couldn't help you. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, I don't know. Let me see if I can find it somewhere else because I'm not doing it from certain people's. I will not watch certain people's channels with it on there. I don't care. I refuse to give them a review. They're fucking terrible, horrible people, and they suck. If I can find it somewhere else, that's not one of the people I fucking despise with a deep-rooted passion, then I'll play it. But let me see what I got here. Nope. Let's see. Yeah, she's in court with him, I think, right now. So, let's see. I see Melanie Little. I can't with some of these people. It's like, why? I can't. Oh my God. Why can't someone normal? Oh, the glare. Oh my God, 453 watching. I have less, I mean, a little under 100 less. Like, that's, I can't listen to him. I can't. And I can't mute him to listen to it. Why do I have to see it? I can't hear anything really.
I think it's sort of evidence of the conflict of interest itself that they just want to ruin this case with a disposition that I'd like to be heard on.
And I promise you will.
I know.
Plenty of time heard on that. I just believe that I want to make sure that everyone, myself included, understands the conflict and has had a right.
So just last thing, sorry. That's the conflict, but to the extent that this, either the defendant was to receive any sort of what we would contend is a legitimate disposition, that this disposition would be vulnerable later to a claim that there was a conflict and it could get vacated later. So there's very interesting. Just wanted to a conviction or a plea or whatever could happen has some integrity to it, since that the government wasn't prosecuting its agent in this case and they're trying to bolster the agent.
Cradle's talking in circles.
In terms of, you know,
He's just spitting narrative.
Doing a plea that has a poison pill to it that just spent a little bit. But thank you, Aaron, for hearing.
This isn't even a legal argument.
Perfectly fine. I was unaware of what I don't. Any allegations or ideas of this working with our officer with any sort of prosecution? That may be true, it may not be true. I was unaware of that. So, given that you're on, I know the arguments I can take might be beneficial. Get us another day to
Bradle, he's representing Lauren Murray.
would you like to be?
I just moved
Stupid.
my Norfolk County DA's office. Clearly not working. Fabrication. This is a case where involved alleged victim, he was the same alleged victim in a case where a special class. My client is in the district court for an exact similar charge, similar facts in the case. That case was dismissed for similar disposition. The victim was not present during that. The Bradle was not present for that disposition. That case was similar type of.
She was just agreeing with Kate's attorney without even knowing it.
So with assistant attorney indicating to me that they were unaware of what Attorney Bradle indicated that they're requesting time. That is what the conflict was. Why special not going to proceed beyond the conflict.
Can't hear
I
shit.
think it's imperative to everyone involved and also to the court that we have an answer whether there needs to be a special prosecutor or there is no longer. So we're going to pick another date. It's very hopeful that on the next date there will either be a special prosecutor here or there will be a final answer. Everyone is comfortable that there is no one.
If I may just, on that point, I request that the government be required to answer writings via an affidavit of what they're.
I'm not going to order them today. It's going to be in writing on my behalf. If in a few days there's a concern, then you can always bring that up.
I just want to tell you, we'll have to.
I will not put him on.
No, it's a shame that the line prosecutor on the case is kept in the dark about these. I mean, he's got enough to do in this court, as I say. But, you know, these are issues that have been fleshed out in this court.
So, and part of the reason why I'm not going to order that is it's possible. So what I was told 2 weeks ago,
Ah,
We're going to replay the video in a minute. If everyone would just keep their
no,
pants on,
please
that'd be
don't. For fuck's sake.
So you're, I guess, obviously, it's the Commonwealth. Comfortable going forward. With
great. Get on microphones.
The Bradle said.
No, that's you, lady. It's not them.
DA looking for a dead end, no objection to that.
All right, I can't. You can't even hear shit. Baker's the only one that has something, and I won't play him. He's a fucking horrible human being. So this is just crazy to me. I mean, sending Bradle there to represent Lauren, fucking weird. Weird. No, as far as I understand, she was in court just a few minutes ago, as far as I understand it. Hold on, let me see. So he's, so as, well, yeah, be careful with your sources on that one, especially on that account. Um, there's a multitude of things going on in Jersey. So his thing is going on with, he's got two different people in New Jersey that are getting orders. Then there's one criminal charge. Then there's possibly a second criminal charge. Apparently he made a fool out of himself. He was on Zoom, I guess, and lying and made a fool out of himself. And then so he went without an attorney, and the judge said, you should really talk to a lawyer. So I'm attempting to get the audio now, or video. That's the update. The order is extended for the other victim. It's in place until the 12th. So November 12th. For some reason, he had no attorney. Interesting. Yeah, I refuse to play him. I apologize, but I will not play that man on my fucking screen. I can't even tolerate Melanie Little, but I try to tolerate a little for you guys, but I refuse to fucking put that guy on my goddamn screen. Not doing it. It's not that it's not always credible, it's that they get a lot of information from people who aren't credible. Damn. I'm still going to try to get it from the court, even though they might not release it. Hold on. Like, why do you not have an attorney? That's the weird thing. That's weird. Yeah, a lot of red flags. A lot. Yeah, I can't. It's not even that. Is that guy jumps on the bandwagon of the rest of the turtle cult? Like, one day he put on a wig and clown makeup and pretended he was me. Like, bro, you don't listen. First of all, it'd be one thing if you were knowledgeable about the law. Dude's not fucking knowledgeable, even a little. All he does is jump on the bandwagon of wherever he thinks he's going to get the most views and money from. He doesn't actually stand for what he believes in. He just jumps on whatever bandwagon sounds good to him at the time. I refuse to play someone like, yeah, he tried representing himself. I fucking kid you not. And to God, the judge told him he might want to talk to an attorney. I'm just saying. Yeah, they can't give him legal advice. I don't know about the towing the line stuff, but he did not represent himself. I mean, he tried to represent himself, and the judge did tell him that he should speak to an attorney. Probably because he sounded like a fucking idiot. He tried to basically use the excuse that the victim is the subject of his news story and he's a journalist. Yeah, that's not gonna fly, bud. Sorry, that's not gonna fly. You know. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna attempt to get it. I don't know if New Jersey has different rules than Mass, obviously. Yeah, but he did. He went without an attorney like a fucking moron. And of course, the victim had an attorney, so that's not very smart now. You know, I mean, what happened to that $75,000 you just made at the 1,000 seats he sold? Where's that money that he brags about? Where's all the $50,000 a month that he makes that he brags about? Where's all the merch sales? Where's all the turtle chats? Like, you couldn't, have Bettero there on fucking speed dial, right? Like, what happened? What happened there, bud? What happened? I mean, it makes my fucking day. Hey, shit. I mean, he always uses the journalism excuse. That's not going to fly. Journalism isn't when you attack people and send a mob of lunatics. It's not when you call people constant names. That's not journalism. Right. Right. And he went pro se. Yeah, Nan couldn't help you out. Nan couldn't help you out. She's so smart. She's such a sharp legal mind, that one. She knows all her ethics and everything. She couldn't help you out in that department, but no. All those attorneys you know out in Jersey and nobody wanted to help you? I'm sorry, I don't normally, laugh at someone's pain, but I'm just saying, karma's a bitch, right? And she might have missed the first time, but she always comes back the fuck around to collect. The amount of innocent people that man has hurt, the amount of decent human beings that he has hurt, I do not feel and will never feel fucking bad for that piece of human garbage, that waste of fucking oxygen that sucks the rest of us. He's stealing the rest of human beings, decent human beings, oxygen, and I don't appreciate it. He's a fucking oxygen stealer, all right? He has the theft of oxygen, and he should stop thieving all of our oxygen at this point. It's ridiculous. Like, the amount of oxygen he wastes on calling people names and trying to disparage them and trying to insult them and trying to make them bad in the eyes of his cultists. Like, give all that oxygen back you stole, bud. Give it all back, all right? Because when your cultists wake up, and they do at some point, they feel shitty. They feel shitty that they followed you and didn't realize what a shit human being you were. At least for them, they woke up. Yeah, he thinks he can. Dude, first of all, the guy doesn't know the difference between being indicted or being extradited. All right, and we're talking. Dude could not tell you anything about a legal document with the legalese inside of it. He looks so confused when he's sitting in a courtroom because he has no idea what's going on. So I guess he was on Zoom, although he was supposed to be there in person. So I'm guessing he might have lied and said he couldn't get there, or his car broke down, or whatever the case. Like, it was, as of this morning, it was supposed to be in person. Like, why didn't they make his ass go? It isn't a story either. Let's get real. It's not. He doesn't follow journalistic ethics. All right. There's no journalism happening. It's straight pettiness. Oh, he's absolutely scared to go in person. He keeps making excuses to not go to these, but he's going to have to, because a trial for it is in person. And so you can't just get off of being like, oh, I'm in Massachusetts. You have a car, time to drive. It's the same excuse he uses to harass people pretty much everywhere. I'm a journalist and it's journalism. No, harassing people is not journalism. And I guess the judge gets to decide that now, don't they? But I concur with you. Yeah, no, that's not it, because during the trial, when he did his behind in the trial, his sister got the kids off the bus and on the bus. There are other arrangements that can be made. Also, FYI, the courts don't give a fuck. They don't care if you have kids, you have to get on and off a bus. That's your problem. You shouldn't have fucking had to be here. That's what they'll tell you. They'll be like, we don't know what to tell you. Fuck off. Sorry. You have kids, you better figure it out. They don't care. They don't care if you have no child care. They don't care if your kid's homesick. The only thing they give a shit about is if you're in the hospital and you physically cannot attend. Any other thing, whether it's you don't have a ride or you can't get there or you have kids, they don't care. The court does not fucking care. There's no excuse. You cannot give those excuses. The court will just put a warrant out for your arrest and tell you to fuck off. They don't care. Believe me. You know, and I don't want to hear him cry. Like, please just let them arrest his ass when he gets another charge instead of, like, summoning him. Like, I'm sick of the summonses and the, oh, show up to court. No, arrest him like anyone else would be. Like, hit him where it hurts, his pockets, you know? That's what he brags about. Brags about all the money he makes. And what he says behind closed doors makes me even more disgusted. You know? Exactly. It's probably the reason why he didn't do a live stream. Probably because he was telling them, like, I broke down halfway there or whatever. You know? And you can't, there's a reason. There's a reason. If I had the money, that's what I would do. Hold on, guys. What time is it? Okay, I'm just making sure. You know, I feel like it's never ending with the stuff that happens, like, constantly. Like, constantly. And it's like, if it's not one thing, it's another I gotta look into. But here's the thing. If they hit him with another criminal charge in New Jersey, at this point, I hope that they just arrest him instead of sending a summons, because they have the option, right? They could send a summons and say, you need to report to court by this day, blah, 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 whatever. Or they can just arrest him. They can send, and even if it's New Jersey will call the state police here and say, we have this arrest warrant. We're going to need you to pick him up, and it's extraditable. You know, yeah, they don't care if you have childcare or not. They don't give a fuck. So again, it is we has one on the 5th for Donna, and then has one, hold on, let me go back and look, the 12th, November 12th. So November 5th, November 12th. November 5th and November 12th. Yeah, they don't give you a sick day. That's not the way it works, you know? Yes, he did. He sure did. He did try to represent himself today. He did. He did. Yeah, I know. We just listened in on a little bit of it. Couldn't really hear much. I have no, you know, I'm looking at a couple things on my other screen over here about what people are saying about it, but you couldn't hear much from her hearing. But I did hear the judge give another date. It was around my birthday, the 20-something, so it could have been the 25th. My birthday is the 28th, so it's 3 days after that. But I'll tell you, it would be my best birthday gift ever if they just fucking charge him again with another criminal charge in New Jersey and throw his ass in the fucking clink where he belongs. You know? And no, courts do not really like when you try to represent yourself, especially when you tell the judge, and I kid you not, he told the judge today that it is a story, that she's the subject of a story and he's just a journalist. That was his excuse to that. And the judge was like, you might want to speak to an attorney. What's that tell you? It sounds like it doesn't sound good for him, you know? It didn't sound good for him, you know? He was already served with that. I told you guys when he was served with that. So the order stays in place now until the 12th. It's already been in place. It's been in place for 2 weeks or so. So he's got 2 orders against him from 2 separate people in New Jersey. Oh, yeah. And, you know, he's got, I think, 2 other court dates in November in Mass, right? So he's been sued for 2 restraining orders, but they're not technically ROs. It's like our version of an HPO. I forget what they call it in New Jersey, but it's like our version of an HPO, like a non-harassment order, basically. And he's broken it, violated it already, and Dawn is a multitude of times, and there's police reports on each and every time he does. It is exhausting, you know. New Jersey courts are faster, clearly, and they're not fucking around. They're not fucking around with him. You know, you have to remember, in New Jersey, he's not in his own playhouse, right? He's not in his stomping grounds. He's in someone else's, right? And the second victim, her husband is an attorney, and I think your dad is a retired judge. Like, how fucking stupid do you have to be? Does that sound like a smart thing to do? I'm just saying, unless you're super smart and you know what you're doing. Newsflash, he's not. That doesn't sound like it's a smart fucking person to attack. Just saying. I mean, you got to be stupid, you know? They're not playing with him. Yeah, it is more money wasted. Everything is waste at this point, you know? The justice seems swift. Yeah, he's now telling the court in New Jersey that she's just a subject of a story. And he's a journalist. That was his excuse. And the other attorney apparently was like, oh, so this is newsworthy? This is a newsworthy story? This person's not a public figure. And I didn't know that journalists name call now. That's a thing? Cool, got it. So he made himself look very silly. So he was supposed to, and I don't know, something ended up being he ended up being on Zoom. So I'm guessing he called into the court making an excuse of some sort on why he couldn't physically be there. That's what I'm guessing. I'll find out later. Yeah, bingo. And that is what, and I said, remember I said, Donna, I said, she's going to have to watch out. I said to you, she's going to have to watch out for him using that excuse, because it's the same crap excuses he's given in a multitude of cases that aren't in Massachusetts, so he doesn't have to show up. Oh, I can't make it, or I can't show up, or I can't, whatever. Oh, I live in Massachusetts. Okay, they know that. That's why they gave you a date that far out. You don't get to just Zoom every time. It's not the way it works. They're going to want you in person at some point. You know? He didn't have journalism before that either. He has no journalistic ethics. And also remember, before, he fought a multitude of defamation cases in court by saying he was not a journalist, that he was an opinionist. Right? So you can't sue him because it's his opinion. That's how he was winning cases before, is by saying he's not a journalist. But now he's been screaming as a journalist from the rooftops for 3 years. So, you know, now he's going to have to actually deal with cases. And when he goes, I'm a journalist, they're going to say, okay, cool. Journalists don't call people names. They don't send a mob of lunatics. They don't put phone numbers and addresses out. And they actually speak to the subject of the story, even if it's just to get comment. That's how journalism works. So you can say you're a journalist, but are you doing the things that journalists do? No. Therefore, you're a fucking idiot. You look like an idiot, and you deserve what you're going to get. You know what I mean? He's going to deserve everything that comes. Well, you don't get charged with a restraining order. A restraining order is a civil order, and it's not that he was charged with a civil order. He was already served with that civil order. So that order just extended until the 12th when they go back to court. So, oh my God, that would be hilarious. Hilarious. Which one? We just talked about one. Which one? Oh yeah, right. Over 200K. Where's all that money? Oh gee, I don't know. Probably with all of his other criminal cases, and maybe, just maybe, with his civil case, he decided to start a civil defamation case against someone that he didn't have to. But he wants everyone else to pay for that, by the way. That's where it all went. Oh yeah, he tried to represent himself, and the judge told him he needs to speak to an attorney, and they have another court date for the 12th. The order was extended till the 12th, till another court date. So yeah, he made himself look like a fool. Per usual. Per usual. Oh, it's over 300K. Interesting. Interesting. That's interesting. Well, if anybody would like to donate to my channel, I'm not asking for 300K, but support, definitely, that we could definitely use over here, would be very helpful. There's a multitude of ways you can do that. CashApp, Venmo, PayPal, Revolut. There's a link in the chat at the top, and it's also in the description of the video, and you can click on it. You can remain anonymous. You can enter any amount you want. Yeah, he has multiple attorneys, but he used none of them. He went pro se on this one. Well, why didn't Nan help him out? She's so hopeful, right? No bus stop live because, well, I don't know. I'll find out. I mean, you don't need an attorney, but it's probably smart to have one. You know, you don't have to have one, but it's probably smart to have one, especially in a scenario like this. And that's basically what the judge is telling him, which is, I'm not allowed to give you legal advice, bud, but you should probably speak to an attorney, you know? Of course he did, like a dumbass. Listen, I feel you on that, Elizabeth. I went over this early in the stream, like right away. It's probably the first thing I talked about, and it's gross, you know? You would definitely want an attorney if you're not in the same state as where you live and you have a second order and you might get criminal charges out of it. Yeah, I think you'd want an attorney. It definitely would be a smart thing to do. We're not talking about a smart man here, folks. Nothing smart about the guy, other than being a smart ass. You know, again, there's a lack of self-awareness, guys. A big lack of self-awareness. I'm going to have to turn my heat on today, I think. I've been, like, avoiding it because those heat bills are ridiculous, but it is getting cold. I'm not going to have a choice but to turn my heat on today because I'm getting tired of my hands being cold in my house. It's only in the 50s and my hands are, like, cold. You know? Yeah, we were not okay with what he did. Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do. Oh, I can't, my attorney can't make it, or that's exactly what he keeps doing. But the problem with that is if the courts are already hip to that, they're going to put a stop to it at some point and be like, no, we don't care. Because they can. The judges can be like, you know what? This is the next step that we have. I still have to fix the Amazon wish list. I just haven't had time. The private one. A heated mouse. Oh my God, that's so smart. I don't think those exist. Do they? Is that a thing? Do they actually exist? Do heated mouses exist? Is that a thing? I actually know I need one of those like wrist things and one of those like big, you know, like desk pads with the wrist thing for my keyboard. I have it on my mouse pad, but there's not one for my keyboard. So it's like, you know, it's wooden. So it hurts. Oh yeah. Then he claimed it was satire, you know. Dawn is next on the 5th, on November 5th is next. It could it could if he lied. If he lied and said he couldn't be there and he needed Zoom, then yes, it absolutely could. I'm not sure what happened there. Again, I'll find out later. Right? Invent one? I wonder if it exists. If it does, that would be pretty cool. I would love that. I mean, it's not really a problem once I turn my heat on. The heat's literally right next to me. People are already posting about it on Twitter since I'm talking about it. Interesting. So so the judge basically said the case was serious against him and that he would need to speak to an attorney. And he's not allowed to talk about her on his YouTube shows or publish commentary about her until the matter is decided, which he will not be able to forget. You know, he won't be able to do. There's no chance in hell. He doesn't know how to shut the fuck up. I mean, he's broken Donna's order like a million times. He also isn't allowed to talk about her, and he does all the fucking time. Truth bombs. Sorry, like it or don't like it. No, he could have. Yeah, a keyboard pad, but like for your wrists, like, you know, the little wrist thing, you know, totally should invent one. That would be fun. Yeah, those are my truth bombs. We haven't gotten, you know, we got one donation earlier, but we haven't gotten really many donations this week. So I'm just dropping the truth bombs on my own these days, you know, just dropping all them damn truth bombs. I mean, here's the thing. It's the truth. That's the bottom line, right? I'm not stone cold, but I did say so. He can't help himself. He cannot. And he won't be able to help himself here either in this scenario. He's just not, he cannot help it but to do this shit. It's unfortunate, but it's fucking true. Again, not a good person. We're not talking about a man that is smart or knows what the fuck he's talking about. He went there without an attorney, and the judge was like, yeah, this is pretty serious. You might want to speak to an attorney, sir. You know, I mean, hey, it is what it is. He does. It's me, Donna, the other victim, and other people constantly. JFK, constantly. Now, why is he picking on those specific people? People don't wake up and go, well, maybe they're saying things he doesn't want them to say, and maybe it could be damaging to him. They don't pick up on it. And it's like, it's right there in front of you. You're almost there. You can do it. Right? You can do it. Just pick up on it. Just use your brain cells. You can get there. I know you can. Right? And the people that get to know me, the people who send me emails, the people that, you know, bother to figure out who I am as a person, I love being able to get to know you guys behind the scenes. And I think that's the part that a lot of creators miss out on, is getting to know the people that support their channel or watch them, you know. I think they miss a lot of connection from that, you know. But the people who have bothered to get to know me know what kind of person I am, you know. It's just sad that this is, you know, the way he is, and he's gonna keep doing it until any court at this point holds him accountable. Oh, Mike too. Mike's in the firing lane too. Oh, why? Because Mike gave him some sage advice, which was, cut the shit, you fucking bozo, without saying that specifically. It's right and wrong, right? It's right and wrong. Yeah, he feels threatened. I mean, we all threaten him in a way that we know the truth. That's the threat. The threat is we know the truth, and he does not want everyone else to know. Because what he did is wrong, right? What he does is wrong. But what he's been doing all this time behind closed doors is what he really doesn't want out there. All the threats to go to the police and flip, all of the you do this or else, all of the blackmail, all of it. And it's not just one person, it's dozens of people. And now JFK is fully aware of all of the things that I've known for all this time that he has been doing. And if that means if those guys are aware, it's any moment in his eyes before they spill the beans on him. And so his thing is always to attack someone else first, so that his mob of people will think they're not credible or think they're bad people, so that when they finally do say what he doesn't want them to say, that they can go, okay, well, that person's not credible. And they're just saying that because I exposed them. That's his go-to every single time. Or that person's crazy. That person's obsessed with me. That person this, that person that. It's always, you know, everyone else but him. There's no accountability in what he does at all. At all. Yeah. And she had an attorney with her. Like, she had her own attorney. My neighbor's laughing at something funny. I don't know what's funny, but I can hear him laughing. He just has personality defects. One of those defects is being very envious of others from, yeah, you're right. But why can you say that and see it, and other people can't? He's been playing with fire. He's going to get burned, you know? No, he got the transplant. He got it. He's a rock star, that man. He got it. He got the transplant, which is awesome. That man is tough as nails, that guy. But yeah, her dad is a retired judge. But you're right. That's one of his personality defects. But why? Why doesn't anyone else see it? It's right there. It's in front of you. Why? You know? we're not the grammar police. I make typos all the time on my phone. I don't make them on my computer because the keys are bigger, but my hands with the arthritis and stuff, the keys are so small on my phone, and my phone is so old. It's like 3 or 4 years old, so old that it like touches the button next to it or above it or presses buttons that I don't want it to. And I'm just like typing so fast, I just hit send without even looking. So I make typos all the time on my phone. I don't make them on my computer when I'm doing it here because the keys are bigger, right? Like, but again, we're not the grammar police. You're not writing a letter to your college professor on social media. So I hate when people say, like, I can't even spell, and it's like, I can, I just don't give a fuck. It's social media. I don't care. Don't care to fix it. Sorry. Of course he has posted already on it. He is. He's been playing with fire for 10 years. That's the difference, though. He did. Yeah, he got it. He got the transplant. Yeah, well, that's what he is. I'm surprised that, they didn't spontaneously combust by now. Voice to text. Voice to text hates me. It just says a bunch of stuff I didn't say. I'm like, I definitely did not say pantalones. I said, something, it'll sound like it. So funny. I can't use text talk. It says, it just doesn't, my accent doesn't go well with it. Yeah, he had to post, but he's got to make himself try to look good. The problem with that is, I know what happened. So, yeah. Yeah, big one giant sentence, I can't. I have him blocked. I can't stand him. Yeah, it's my accent. It's my stupid Boston accent. It doesn't listen. I'll look. Hold on. I can't. I literally can't stand this guy. All right. I have him blocked for a reason. I don't care what he has to say, but let's see how much he lied. I mean, every word out of his mouth is a lie, but other than that, let's see. So, Casey's working, I think, today. She said yesterday she would work the next 3 days during live streams. What is happening? Why isn't it not loading? Yeah, I can't find my khakis. Yeah, so it'll say khakis. Exactly. Exactly what happens. That's exactly what happens. It can't find your khakis, and then it'll say khakis, because we said khakis, and it sounds like khakis. The clicker. All right, let's see. Why is it not showing me what I want to see? On my computer, it's not showing me, even though it's like not loading anything. I'd have to look on my phone, I think. For some reason, the app on the computer and what's on my phone, it does two different things, which is weird. I don't know why. I'm going to have to go in a few minutes anyway, but let me see if I can see it on my phone real quick. Hold on. For some reason, like the phone versus the computer is two totally, yeah, it's not loading on that for some reason. Hold on. All right. Let's see. Update. The hearing is now moved to November 12th at 1 p.m. So he's not saying. So he immediately breaks the order. You can't talk about it, but he immediately breaks the order by doing so. What a dumbass. Shoki's online mistress never mentioned in her affidavit that she pretended to be in love with Paula Keep. Okay, that's irrelevant to what you're doing, but okay. In order to get him to send into himself, which she then forwarded to me for the purpose of implication. She said she wanted publicly humiliate me as a bad person with hopes she would get it, blah, 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 blah. It's nonsense. Yeah, I wouldn't. Absolutely not. Don't you worry. It's nonsense. Oh, she's going to. You have to remember, Michael, that the process for that is going to be long. So that's not going to happen right away. Like, she's not going to, like, the bar is an extra long process with, like, problems with attorneys. happens. Like, it's not something that happens right away. It's something you put the complaint in about in the police report, and then it's a whole process that it takes time before they ever sanction or take that person's law license. Like, it could take a year or more. So it's a very long process. So you're not going to see something happening right away unless she gets like criminally charged. But outside of that, the process with like the bar is going to be a long time. Like, it's going to take a long time before something happens. And maybe she was betting that nobody would say anything or nobody would care. She was wrong, you know? Let's see. So yeah, screenshots basically. Like, he doesn't understand the law at all. She doesn't have to mention any of the things that happened like before. She doesn't need to mention any of what he's talking about right now. All that matters is, did you then harass this person? Did you? Like, that's all that matters. That's under the eyes of the law. They don't give a shit about what relationship you had prior to that. The bottom line is, under the eyes of the law, are you harassing someone or not? It's not about, well, she gave you information for a story and she didn't mention that in court. She doesn't have to mention that in court. That's completely irrelevant. By the way, her lawyers are the one who wrote it up, and I'm sure they're fully aware of all of that. It's irrelevant under the eyes of the law. That's not what the court's not trying to pass judgment on what she did. They're trying to decide whether you harassed her or not. This is a part he doesn't seem to grasp in his brain. And then he feeds all this nonsense to his minions, and his minions eat it up, not realizing that all of the things that he's saying, she didn't do this, and she didn't do this, she lied because she didn't say this, and she omitted this, is because A, her attorneys kept it out because it's not relevant to the case. You moron. But definitely everyone should listen to him because he absolutely knows what he's talking about. Sure thing. Sure thing. Thank you, Jim. Me either. Because it's not normal human behavior, right? It's normal people don't do this kind of shit at all. I made it clear to the judge that I'm a journalist who writes extensively about the case, and the plaintiffs intentionally inserted herself in the middle of, and that there is nothing in the temporary order that prevents me from writing or talking about someone. I will not be bullied or threatened into silence by anyone. Really? Well, the judge told you that you couldn't, and you just did, and with screenshots. You're a dumb fuck. What did I say 20 minutes ago? I said he can't help himself. The judge specifically told him he could not talk about or write about her, and he did it anyway. So you just posted to the judge 19 minutes later that you don't give a fuck what the judge or the court say. You're going to do it anyway. Good luck with that, sir. Let me know how that works out. Let me know how that works out for you, Stuart Turtle. Let me know. You dumb fuck. Oh, no, the judge is going to see it because I've already screenshotted it. It's already been sent. While we were sitting here, I screenshotted the entire thing and sent it where it needed to go. So, guess it sucks to be him now, doesn't it? I mean, he needs fucking help. I mean, the man cannot help himself. Any attorney, any good attorney would have advised you against all of this. And instead, he just continues on like the very smart man that he is. You know? I see you. I see you here. What do you mean? I'm supposed to see you somewhere else? I see you right here. Yeah, an idiot. He can't help himself. He cannot help himself. He literally cannot. I can predict what he's going to do before he's going to do it, and how he's going to do it, and why he's going to do it. Because I've been with a narcissist. I know what a narc and an abuser are like. He's no different from any of them except that he's worse. So all you have to do is times that by 100. And also he does the same thing to almost every victim. So it's not hard to figure out what he's going to do. Oh yeah. I mean, he threatened to go to Tully a bunch of times to make a deal. If you go back in my shows from a while back, I've been saying this for a while. No one listened. There's a difference, you know? There's a difference. And the judge will see it. I can see you. Yes, I can see you. I see you. Went straight out of his car to me. Exactly. It's exactly what he did. You think the judge is going to find that funny or cute? You can't just be like, I'm a journalist, so I can do it. It's like being like, I'm an attorney, so I can do whatever I want. Not the way it works. Sorry. I'm just saying. I will send it to you. Yes, I will send it to you. I got to get done with this in a second anyway. Oh, is it raining? That's all right. Me and my neighbor sit in her car when we pick the kids up off the bus if it's raining or anything. All right. Yeah. See, that's the thing. He said, oh, it's been rescheduled. It wasn't rescheduled. He still was supposed to be there. He made it sound like it was just canceled and he wasn't supposed to be there, which is not the case at all. Not even a little. Yeah, exactly, Beach. Thank you. Petulant child. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, he definitely rage walked and rage text and rage called. He did all those things. She thinks she can stop me. Wait, I'm going to post on X. Me, I'm Chilly. Man, y'all should be angry. I'm angry, and you should be afraid of me. Mer, I'm going to post about you. Mer, I'm an angry turtle. Mer. Yeah, you and your fucking merry band of morons. Like, non-ethical Nan and, Jess, who acts like she's, perfect, never has had any problems in life. Like she's never had a car repoed or she's never been evicted, which would both be false. She absolutely has. And so I love that she shits on other people for the same things that she's already been through. Imagine forgetting where you came from. Come the fuck on. All this, I'm going to act better than people shit is ridiculous at this point. All right? Interesting. What did she say? Did she say something like, hey, that's fucking unethical? Because I would be shocked because I'm not a fan of Melanie Little and she's given out a lot of misinformation. A lot. But I would like to hear someone else tell her publicly that she broke ethics by doing that. And she's an idiot. Oh, I'm sure he will be. Oh, budget Pedro. I have those sweatshirts in my store that say federal letters. Wait, what does it say? Now found in the fiction section. He does think that. That's a miscalculation on his part. A very big miscalculation. Yeah, exactly. I'm in Kearney. Be afraid of me. I'm an angry little troll. You know what I can do to you? Do you know what my name is? Like, come the fuck on with it. With your nonsense. I shake my head at the things he does too. Don't ask me why he does them, but he does. And apparently just loves doing them. He's so smart. Such a smart guy. Yeah, I don't know why they had that fight going on either, but whatever. It is what it is. There's my 3:15 alarm. Just comparing the crap with the ADA and Kate's case and their ethics to an attorney sharing voicemails. Well, the ADA has no. See, that's the thing, though. What's wrong with the ADA and Kate's case? There's nothing wrong with the ADA. I mean, you don't have to like someone, but be fair. I don't think that's fair. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the ADA. The judge is the one running the show over there. No brain cells, no. Yeah, because I can't listen to the rest of you. You know I can't. I can't do it. I can't do it. All right. I love your stinking faces. I have to go because I have to get my little off a bus, as we always do in the afternoon time. I'm debating whether I'm going to do a show tomorrow or not. I'll figure it out. I'll let you guys know. I got, Halloween's coming up, and I'll figure it out. I'll let you guys know. If I do, it's, it'll be the normal time, 11:30 to 12-ish. And I'll be here. Until then, I love your. Oh, I know. Tuberculosis, hilarious, by the way. Hilarious. I have to watch the rest of that because I didn't get a chance to watch the rest of that. But all right, I love your stinking faces. Everybody have an amazing day. If you can donate to the channel, I would appreciate it. We're just a little channel. We're trying to grow, but we also need that. We need your help to do so because we can't do it all alone. So if you do donate when we're not live anymore, we'll just read it tomorrow, as we always do when we get the ones that we aren't live anymore. It was on a couple people's shows today. Carol, don't forget to email me. I need you to email me, Miss Carol. Don't forget. All right. That's a wrap for today, folks. And I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. Everybody have an amazing day. Bye. Love you.